Hi everyone, welcome to the Cathedral and John Connon School Full Steam Ahead's podcast, The Fright Circuit, hosted by Saksham Sood.
And Ved Prasad. We're both 12th graders in the Cathedral and John Connon School in Mumbai. And we made this podcast so that we can talk about the things we're interested in and bring you the latest news from science, technology, engineering, art, and math. So this podcast is going to have several episodes, some maybe with a guest, some without. Sometimes it'll just be the both of us talking about
If people
things we're
actually want to
interested
come
in,
on.
if people actually want to come on. But it's always going to be related to our five core topics, and we're just here to make it as interesting and informative as possible for everyone else.
Yeah, we want to make this podcast as informal and as approachable for most high school students around the world. We're just going to be talking about our opinions, what we think about this kind of stuff. So feel free to write in the comments what you think about it, and we can have the discussions regarding all these topics that we're going to cover. A brief introduction about Cathedral and John Connon School Full Steam Ahead first. It's a bit of a mouthful. We're a student-run organization in the Cathedral and John Connon School, and essentially we conduct projects, events, and produce content related to STEAM on our YouTube channel, Instagram page. We have a coding competition called CathCon that we host every year in August. So feel free to check those things out as well. You can find us at cathedralfsa.com and more information regarding everything that we do. And let's get into the first topic. Our first topic for today is cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, which is something that Ved and I are very interested in. We recently got into cryptocurrency because of the crypto boom that happened earlier this year. I feel like almost everyone did. Looking at all the memes and things, we were interested, like, oh, this sounds interesting. And as people who want to do computer science in the future, this was something that we were very intrigued by. So, yeah, Ved, get started on what cryptocurrency is. What exactly does it mean?
So a cryptocurrency is basically a digital form of currency, which is what really sets it apart from the traditional forms of currency we've used, right? Over the years, you've had like the barter system, you've had maybe like precious metals, gold, silver, etc. You've had coins, you've had paper money issued by governments, and all of that is what everyone's familiar with, the things that people have been using for years. But the thing about cryptocurrency is since it's digital, it doesn't actually have a physical form. Everything is stored as code and files on like networks and computers. So no one can, you can't actually take a cryptocurrency and hold it. That's what really
Exactly.
sets it apart.
And while this may make some people nervous about hacking and stuff, the reason this is secure is because of cryptography. So this currency is stored in a ledger, in a digital ledger online called a blockchain, and that is secured with cryptography. Hence the name cryptocurrency. And because of that strong encryption, those strong encryption methods, people aren't actually able to scam the system and get more money for themselves or like remove money from somebody else's account. It's a very secure system because of the cryptography part in it, which is actually something that fiat currency or normal typical currency hasn't had typically. Since if you have if you have some cash in your wallet, people can come and steal it from you, or you can rob other people. That isn't the case in cryptocurrency.
Yeah, and also if you have physical money, people can come take it in person, right? Physically. That's what makes physical money unsafe. And you, as Saksham said, you might think that you can do the similar thing online, right? If it's digital currency, someone can come take it away digitally through hacking. But that's what sets most forms of cryptocurrencies apart from traditional money, in that it's decentralized, right? Most of them, not all, but most are decentralized. And what that basically means is they don't really have any central or issuing authority like a bank or a government that mints the money and hands it out. Okay, it's something that is shared by people all over the world. Everyone has the blockchain with them on their computer if they choose to participate in holding and earning cryptocurrency. And that means that every single person who is involved in a particular cryptocurrency basically helps keep all cryptocurrencies of that nature safe. So suppose Saksham owns some Bitcoin. I can't hack his computer and take his Bitcoin because the entire world, every single person who has the Bitcoin blockchain installed in their computer has access to a ledger that shows that Saksham is the owner of that Bitcoin. And to actually change to actually take that from him, I will have to go on every single ledger around the world and change the transaction so that it comes to me. But
Yeah.
that's basically what blockchain technology is about. I think we should explain that now because otherwise it might get a bit confusing.
Yeah. I think as Vijay said as well, the fact that it's decentralized is what makes it so special in the first case. In the case of Bitcoin and Ethereum, for example, because there is no issuing authority or there's no issuing central bank or a government, everybody can participate in it and everybody can make the rules themselves. Because of that, it's inherently a currency that is more focused on the people who use it. If you choose to use Ethereum or Bitcoin, you are actually a part of the network, you're actually a part of the system that controls Ethereum or Bitcoin, which gives more power back to the people
Yeah.
instead of us relying on a government's fiscal policy or a bank's fiscal monetary policy. Because of that, we are able to make choices with the currency. Now, this typically makes a lot of governments very uneasy because it's taking control from these central authority figures which have traditionally been able to control money and the economy and giving it back to the general population over here, which is why a lot of governments are currently scrambling to make legislation regarding Bitcoin and find a way to regulate these kind of cryptocurrencies. A cool standout country over here is El Salvador, which recently made Bitcoin legal tender in their country. So in El Salvador, you can actually go to shops, to markets, to people, and exchange Bitcoin for goods and services. Uh, and that's a unique example of it. So now getting into the actual technical aspect of it, how does Bitcoin or Ethereum work? They work on something called a digital ledger, as Ved mentioned, which is also called
Yeah.
blockchain technology. All right, and we're now going to get into how blockchain technology works.
Yeah. So for how blockchain technology works, like Saksham said, it's a digital ledger. So the name actually it actually explains it pretty well. So the ledger itself is the blockchain, the chain of individual blocks, and you can think of each block as one particular transaction that is recorded on the ledger, right? So suppose today I transfer 10 Bitcoin to Saksham. On the Bitcoin blockchain, that's the Bitcoin ledger that keeps track of every single transaction that has ever taken place that involves Bitcoin. Today, at the time of recording this, 30th June, 11:59 p.m., it'll show 110 Bitcoin being transferred from my wallet to Saksham's, and as well as additional details about the transaction. But the cool thing about that is, again, it's decentralized. So every single person around the world who is involved with Bitcoin will have their transaction recorded on the ledger. So I to do this, I might have the Bitcoin ledger downloaded on my computer. So might Saksham. So might other millions of other people around the world. So in every single ledger, everyone has the identical list of transactions. So that one transaction from me to Saksham, that'll be recorded on everyone's computer around the world. So, and that makes it really hard for someone to commit fraud or to scam someone out of money or to steal money, to hack anyone, because that transaction is now public information that can be accessed by millions of people around the world. So
Yeah, so
to
that actually
actually
sounds
change that information,
Yeah, that actually
yeah,
sounds great because,
go on.
in theory, this makes Bitcoin or the cryptocurrencies a very transparent system because you know exactly who has sent who how much money, and everybody in the world can see that as they participate in the Bitcoin network. However, there's a caveat over here, such that as a normal bank, if you want to make an account, you gotta show KYC, you gotta show your documents, and you gotta prove that you are a citizen of the country, etc., etc. And because of that, the banks are able to verify you as a real person, are able to verify your credibility. That doesn't happen in cryptocurrencies. Since cryptocurrencies are online and decentralized, there is no bank to verify who you are and whether you are a good person or a bad person. And because of that, all these transactions, you can't trace them back to people because the transaction is simply X or Y amount of Bitcoin going from one person's ledger number or user ID number to
Yeah.
another equally complicated number. And these numbers are randomly scrambled, and you can never actually know which number belongs to who. And because of that, it also makes an anonymous system, and people can trade money or cryptocurrency in this scenario anonymously with each other without revealing their identity, which can again create some problems when you're trying to for law enforcement for tracking down crimes and the funding of illegal groups and organizations.
Yeah, you can sort of think of it using the bank analogy where you can have account numbers, but no one really knows who that account belongs to. So like in the bank, if I want to write a check from me to you, I'll just write my account number, I'll write yours, I'll write the amount, but no one really knows who I am or who you are or what the money is being used for. Nothing's being audited. It's just a transaction, and that's all anyone needs to know. And that makes it really easy to bypass security in that way, right? So I know you don't need to provide any identification or anything about your background. So literally anyone around the world can, like if they have the technology, can use the Bitcoin blockchain or any other blockchain and trade using
Yeah,
cryptocurrency.
this actually makes cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin extremely popular on the dark web for other illegal activities, and which is why it's also important for governments to have legislation in place to help regulate these cryptocurrencies in some scenarios. Because otherwise, we can just have money changing hands without us knowing where the money is going in the first scenario. So you might notice that throughout this cryptocurrency discussion, we've talked a lot about Bitcoin. And that's because Bitcoin is the largest cryptocurrency by market cap. In fact, in April this year, it hit $1 trillion. Bitcoin was also the first cryptocurrency to be created in 2009 by someone called Satoshi Nakamoto, which could either be one person or a group of people, but it's anonymous. We actually don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. And that kind of, deepens the law behind Bitcoin and it makes it more mysterious in a way, which is actually the reason why a lot of people are skeptical about Bitcoin and a lot of people don't actually know what it does.
Yeah, but I feel like the fact that Satoshi Nakamoto is anonymous and no one really knows how it originated, I feel like that just makes Bitcoin more valuable. Because at the end of the day, actually this goes for real currency too, but since here we're talking about cryptocurrencies, any cryptocurrency is only fueled by the hype, right? It's only fueled by the interest that people have in it. And the more people you have interested in it, talking about it, buying it, the more valuable it's going to get. And I feel like the fact that it's one day in like the late, like in 2009, one day in 2009, this entity just created the first digital currency ever that people could actually use to make purchases. That's definitely a big part of why it's this valuable right now, because people had never seen anything like that before.
Yeah,
People
but
like
also I feel
for
like
all of history have been physical and now it's digital.
yeah, but also in some scenarios, people are really behind the technology behind cryptocurrencies, and they do think that's going to be the future. And beyond a certain point, hype isn't going to be what's going to lead the market forward. In fact, that's what remains to be seen, whether cryptocurrencies actually is going to become a real thing in the future or not. So far, it's an extremely volatile market that's actually fueled by, as Wade said, a lot of hype and talking behind it. But we will see in the future whether it actually becomes like a big thing or not. I think one of the biggest new like exciting technological advances in the cryptocurrency field is Ethereum. And I think people are not as familiar with Ethereum as they are with Bitcoin, but Ethereum is actually a far more interesting cryptocurrency. Not a cryptocurrency, sorry, a cryptocurrency technology that has been created by someone called Vitalik Buterin. And it was worth over $250 billion earlier this year in terms of market cap. It's the second biggest behind
Yeah.
Bitcoin. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like it. No,
Yeah,
go on.
go on.
No, I feel like one of the reasons Ethereum is a lot more interesting more interesting than Bitcoin is because it's more diverse in what it is. Because Bitcoin, it's simply a cryptocurrency. That's all it is. The only thing it can be used is to buy and sell things or like goods and services. But it is just a cryptocurrency. But Ethereum, on the other hand, it's a blockchain technology. So that means it can be used for pretty much anything. Like they do use it as a cryptocurrency too. They have Ether, which is the cryptocurrency that is based on the Ethereum blockchain, but there's so much more that people can do and are doing using the Ethereum blockchain. And I feel like that's what makes it one of the most exciting technologies today.
Yeah, it's great because what the Ethereum blockchain lets you do is create something called decentralized apps or dApps in short, where essentially using the blockchain technology, you can build stuff on top of it that is completely decentralized. So, for example, today you have big companies like Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, right? But in the future, you might just have a product similar to Instagram that's completely decentralized, not owned by a company or not headed by one CEO, but instead controlled by everyone together, which seems like a very nice future to live in, where our data isn't being mined by certain corporations. They don't have such extreme
Yeah.
control over our lives. And that's why Ethereum is so interesting in the first place, because people are actually building really great products and really great apps and services on the Ethereum blockchain that is completely decentralized. And a misconception actually is that people say that trading Ethereum or Ethereum is a cryptocurrency. It's not really. It's more for technology, and the actual cryptocurrency is Ether, which is used to trade on the blockchain technology for goods, services, etc., etc. And that's the fine difference between Ether and Ethereum. So if you say you're buying Ethereum, you're actually buying the Ether coins and investing in that cryptocurrency rather than the actual Ethereum network.
Yeah, and Ether is pretty popular too, like as its own cryptocurrency, and not just when you're talking about the blockchain as a whole, the Ethereum blockchain. I I think Ether is the second most
Yeah,
popular and the second most valuable cryptocurrency as of now,
yeah. It was
and it's
shortly
been there
overtaken by
for a while.
Dogecoin, but but it's
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
It's there. Yeah.
yeah,
So a lot of people might be wondering what actually makes these cryptocurrencies valuable. All right. So there is no inherent value in a piece of code. A Bitcoin is essentially a line of code. Okay, and there's no inherent value in that. Anybody can code a line of code. I think it's the same as what gives money its value. So back in, I don't know, the Stone Age, when they used to have the barter system, they used to trade, let's say, food and rock, right? And that had intrinsic value because you could eat food and you could hunt animals with rock. However, as we've moved towards a more civilized society or a more structured society, we have fiat money, which is currencies around the world, which again don't really have any intrinsic value. A piece of paper that has 100 rupees written on it doesn't actually have any value. But because the government and the bank say that it's worth 100 rupees, and the governor signs on it and says, I will pay the bearer a sum of 100 rupees, we as a people think it has a value, and we as a people believe in its value. It's the same thing with cryptocurrency, except that there's no government or bank saying they're going to pay you the sum of it, but it's just people who believe in it and think that it's going to be worth something, that trade in it, and then that belief itself creates some value in the cryptocurrency itself. However, this does have a flip side, and there are cryptocurrencies where this might not exactly work out.
yeah. So like that is what sort of joins traditional currencies and cryptocurrencies in the fact that you need people to believe in it for it to have any value. Because if suppose today if everyone just disregarded some particular currency from some particular government, it wouldn't have any value and no one would use it anymore. But the difference is with the cryptocurrency, you don't believe in it because some authority is like telling you it's a good idea to that you get certain you can use certain products or services or you might get certain privileges by through using that currency. Here it's simply because you believe in the power of the community. So like Saksham said near the beginning of this podcast, I think it's a lot more community friendly. It puts more power like in the people, and
Yeah.
it's for the people to cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, yeah. In fact,
Yeah.
it also works. It has some benefits over traditional government currency in the way that governments and government policy can often be a mistake. So we've seen that in the past multiple times. We've seen it in Germany, we've seen it in Venezuela, where the government policy has created hyperinflation, which is bad for the people. However, if in a cryptocurrency scenario, when people hold the currency, we decide the inflation rates that it's going to have. We decide how much and how little of it we want to print, in the case of Ethereum at least, or mine, or sorry, put in the system. And because of that, we are able to actually control that in a much better sense. And that has certain advantages as people, as you know, you can't be deplatformed in any scenario. So tomorrow, if a currency suddenly becomes invalid because of its value going down, or a currency suddenly becomes unaccepted by a certain government or a power in the world, all the money that you own in that currency is suddenly gone. It's worthless, right? But that doesn't happen in a cryptocurrency, because cryptocurrency is the same across the world. There aren't people who can simply devalue it because they want to. They have to convince the entire community to devalue the entire currency as a whole, which is just, which if that happens, then fair enough. Then the world has decided that it's time for the currency to die, and it should die. But no one person or no one central authority figure can do that, and that also like prevents deplatforming for people. Like your money will always have some value when you have it.
Yeah. It's similar to how you can't really steal money or hack someone's computer and just take their cryptocurrency simply because everyone who is involved in the cryptocurrency has the blockchain and keeps track of that ledger. So like any negative impact, any major negative impact that cryptocurrency may have, you usually have to get past the obstacle that is the community to really go there. And but also I think Saksham said this earlier today as well, that due to the recent crypto boom and all the hype regarding crypto, people are creating new cryptocurrencies all the time. So, sure, a
Yeah.
few years ago, people knew Bitcoin, and a few years after that, people came to know of Ether on the Ethereum blockchain. And those are the two main ones that people were really used to and people had already heard about. And other than that, people didn't really know much about cryptocurrencies. But here now in 2021, it's become it's basically common knowledge at this
Almost
point.
a
Everyone
fad.
knows something about it.
Yeah.
It's almost a fad, and people are creating their own.
Hmm.
The only problem, it's not really a problem, but the interesting thing about people creating their own cryptocurrencies is a lot of people have heard about cryptocurrencies through memes on the internet, right?
Yeah.
You're
We
scrolling
love
through,
memes
I don't
here
know,
on
Twitter,
the Fried
Reddit,
Circle
Instagram.
podcast.
Yeah, we love memes. But people can be scrolling through social media. They can be scrolling through Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere, and they'll come across memes that talk about maybe a crypto boom or people making money off of cryptocurrency. And basically, what ends up happening then is it leads to the creation of meme coins or altcoins, which are their own, like, I mean, officially they are cryptocurrencies. They are established cryptocurrencies that people can buy or sell or mine, but they don't really have much value when you
Yeah, I
compare
think
it to the more
no, I think before
established
we
cryptocurrencies
before we
like
get into
Bitcoin.
it, we want to establish what an altcoin means essentially. So these are like very community terms that crypto heads use. Bitcoin was the first coin, the first cryptocurrency, and every other cryptocurrency made after that is called an altcoin. So technically, even Ether is an altcoin, but Ether is just the most successful and the most prominent of the altcoins. So any cryptocurrency that you create today will be referred to as an altcoin till Bitcoin is so dominant in the crypto space. So people have been creating altcoins rapidly because it's so easy to make a cryptocurrency. You simply code the algorithm for it for the blockchain, and then you have a cryptocurrency. Voila. The real challenge is to get people to accept it and actually give it some credibility in the crypto space, right? So because of the low barrier of entry, anybody can make a cryptocurrency. So we see a lot of meme coins, as they're called, uh, flooding the internet through
Yeah.
the most hilarious names and the best meme campaigns attached to it, and it's really very entertaining. But in terms of actual financial structure systems, it's not as great as Ved was going to get into.
Yeah, and the most popular one, which you probably have heard of since it
Yeah,
absolutely blew up recently in terms of popularity, is Dogecoin, which was based on the very popular Doge meme from the early 2010s.
yeah,
The Dogecoin has almost no value. I mean, at its peak, it reached what, 66 cents to a
66 cents. Yeah,
Doge?
66 cents.
Yeah, but then it just kept falling. And one is obviously like it wasn't created to be taken seriously. It was actually created as a parody of cryptocurrencies,
Yeah.
just sort of an ironic piece of art to
Hmm.
make fun of the whole system of cryptocurrencies and how people believing in it gives it value.
Yeah.
But that ended up with people believing in it and giving it value, and
It's almost a double irony.
value yeah
Yeah.
its value spiked to 66 cents earlier this year.
Which
But
actually,
the
to
thing
put
is,
in
again,
context, 66 cents per Dogecoin is better than most meme coins get. Like it's one of the highest
that's
meme
true.
coin values ever, because of just how
Yeah.
dominant the meme became. Right, and we're gonna get into like factors that led to it. But it really is fascinating to look at the world and the internet as general, where someone who creates a coin, ironically to mock actual cryptocurrencies, ironically becomes a real coin that
Yeah.
people are actually accepting as forms of payment and actually goes to 66 cents in value per coin.
Yeah.
At its peak, Dogecoin had a market cap of over $50 billion, which was insanely high for something that was created as a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
And like we're saying it has no real value, which is true because like compared to the Bitcoin, which is in the tens of thousands of dollars, and Ether, which is thousands of dollars again, right? To each Bitcoin and each Ether, the Dogecoin only reached 66 cents. But if you compare it to other altcoins which aren't as popular,
yeah.
one of those will be worth maybe what, a few, like
Zero point
thousandths of a dollar,
zero zero
millions
zero
of a
zero
dollar.
zero one
There'll be
cents.
several zeros after the decimal point. They're worth practically nothing on its own as one of them, which is why people buy them like in bulk to actually give it some value.
Yeah.
But yeah, meme coins like Dogecoin really spiked this year and gave people insane returns. Like people had returns in like the thousands of percents, and and you can invest like maybe what, $50, $100, and get back way more, like maybe in the thousands at some point, just because of how
Just
much
how
the value
dominant the meme
increased.
was. The Doge
Yeah,
hype.
but at the end of the day, yeah,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it did decrease again because one of the reasons it doesn't have any real value and it probably won't ever have any real value is that it doesn't. There's no cap or limit on how many Doge are in circulation. So with Bitcoin has a fixed cap. There are 21 million Bitcoin out there approximately, out of which 18 million have been mined. But the fact that there are a limited amount of Bitcoin is what gives it value, right? With the Dogecoin, currently we have around 129 billion Doge,
Yeah.
but the creators and like the founders of Doge have basically said they aren't willing to put a cap on the number in circulation yet. So they're just gonna keep printing more and more, and if they never stop, the value is gonna keep decreasing. So that's why meme coins like Dogecoin and
Yeah.
other coins also follow the same policy as Doge. A lot of them, they're not gonna really have any real value.
Yeah, in a sheer supply demand thing, yes, it totally adds up. If Doge has unlimited supply of coins, and there isn't that much demand for it in the future, if the meme dies out, which memes do all the time, it's not going to be worth a lot in a very long time. But I think what's very cool with Doge, and as the internet thing, what we saw was that because it has a picture of a cute dog on it, more and more people got into cryptocurrencies. Like more and more people got to know about this technology. More and more people actually bought Dogecoin just as a meme, as a joke. That was very good for educating
Yeah.
people about cryptocurrency, and that actually worked out really well. In fact, me and Ved also bought some Dogecoin. Uh,
We did our best to mine Dogecoin and get an infinite profit percentage. But yes, we did try to get our own Doge. We did get some Doge. We have
yes,
our own Dogecoin wallets,
which you will
and I'll
find
put the
somewhere
IDs up
over here.
there,
Yeah,
somewhere
somewhere over
there.
here. If you
So
have Dogecoin,
donate
please
if you
feel
want.
free to donate. we'll we'll take anything for vada pav money out here. But yeah, at the peak of Dogecoin, I had about 2 rupees in Dogecoin, and then when the market crashed, it went to 0.0000365 rupees. Yeah, it's
I had a
painful to
bit
watch
more.
if
I had
anything.
maybe five rupees at my peak, but then that fell too. But that's the thing.
Yeah,
Since it had the cute Doge meme as its front, people found it more relatable or user friendly. They didn't see it as like the way they saw Bitcoin or Ether as this
yeah,
like extremely
high
complex and
tech, very
technical piece of
yeah.
code that they
A guy
probably
in
won't
a
be able
hoodie
to
hunched
understand. They
over a
saw it as
keyboard, just
this
typing furiously.
with the anonymous mask and like
Yeah,
the wall of green code running down the background. No,
the
they saw
Matrix
it.
code.
You see the Doge,
Yeah,
you see the Dogecoin meme, and you think, you know what? I've seen memes. I know what this is. It's probably someone with a similar mindset, similar experiences out there, and it's probably if they can do it, if they can mine it, they can buy it, sell it. I can too, and that's how a lot of people got to it, and that's why it had such a huge spike, right, in terms of
yeah,
just percentage.
yeah. It shows
Yeah,
the
and that's
power
why
of meme
so
culture
many
as
people
well.
made so much money out of Dogecoin.
Yeah, just by sheer
Yeah.
memes alone, they were able to prepare a coin to 66 cents per coin, and get people returns of thousands of percents. But I think one very like important part of this that we sort of glossed over was that the crash. The Dogecoin crash was horrible. Was horrible. In fact, there were people who actually invested a lot of their money, a lot of their life savings into Dogecoin because when the high was, or when everyone was riding the high, but then when it crashed, the people who lost their money lost a lot of their money, and they lost almost all of it. And I think that's the key thing
Lost
with these,
everything.
yeah, with these meme coins is that they do crash. Most of these meme coins end up crashing, and they crash very very badly. Where the graph is up up up, and then it just falls down instantly, like a vertical down graph.
Yeah.
And that's the main like pattern to notice with meme coins, right? Is that there's a new coin coming out. It's gonna have, let's say, 100 million trillion of them in circulation that are ever gonna be put out, right? They aim to beat Bitcoin in market cap, and they have this revolutionary new technology with AI and machine learning with the ex-founder of, let's say, whatever big tech corporation that you have.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have a big social media rollout.
Yeah.
You're gonna see multiple celebrities post about Twitter feeds, right? They're gonna have people talk about how they've bought 100 billion coins in this one coin. It's gonna roll out. There's gonna be lots of memes about it, big marketing PR campaigns. You're gonna see it go all the way up, 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 and
And
suddenly
then it's
one
gonna
day
crash.
dip straight down,
It's gonna
straight down with all
crash.
your money. So I
Yeah.
think the biggest like thing over here is if you want to get into cryptocurrency, you gotta do your research. It's not there yet where you can simply just walk in and buy cryptocurrency. You have to know exactly what the technology
Yeah.
is, what it offers, what are the benefits, what are
Yeah.
the benefits of it. It almost becomes like buying a stock or investing in a company or something. You need to see
Yeah.
the
You
fundamentals, see
should.
how it's doing, and then only put your money into it if you believe in it.
Yeah. You should treat
Yeah.
it as carefully as you would treat buying stocks or shares. You would like some people do, but what you shouldn't do is just go in and pick a stock at random and throw all your
Yeah.
money at it, hoping it goes up, right? You should
Don't do what
just
we
study the
did.
market, try to learn more about. Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do. We're not
You should study the
robots.
market,
Yeah.
try to find, try to look at the trends, try to look at what the company is about, what's going to happen with it in the future, or get other people's opinions and advice on it. Do the same thing for cryptocurrencies. Check out, some cryptocurrencies have like different backgrounds. Maybe they're made for different purposes. But,
Yeah.
people made them for different reasons. You might look at the trends. Some of them might be getting more and more popular, but usually, and with most altcoins, they all come crashing down, which isn't bad for the people who invested maybe, 50, 100 rupees, 50, $100 as a joke. But there are people out there who believed in the Dogecoin boom so much that they put their entire like life savings. They thought they could raise
Yeah.
money for, I don't know, college or pay off their mortgage or any of that. They put all their money into crypto, and then when it came crashing down, they have basically nothing left.
Yeah. I
So
think this is also
you
a
need to, you need to
theme
treat it
with
carefully.
the cryptocurrency market, where you have these insane booms and these insane busts, right? So like Bitcoin, for example, hit a high of $60,000 in April, and right now it's at 35. And it's been what? It's been like 2 months, and in 2 months you see these insane spikes,
It's 2 months. It's
insane
halved.
drops. Yeah, the entire crypto space
It is
generally is a
halved in
very
2
volatile
months.
thing. If you want to get
Yeah.
into it, so I would definitely recommend do your research, learn about the technology, and only then actually get into cryptocurrency if you wanted to. But
Yes.
despite all this, there has actually been some really good community stuff with meme coins and with cryptocurrency in general as well. A project called Folding at Home. Essentially, a quick background on Folding at Home. It's a piece of code or software you run on a computer that essentially combines the processing power of your computer and millions of other computers to create like a giant supercomputer almost, and that's used to help
For
in
medical
complex
research.
calculations. Yeah, for medical research and to help in complex
Yeah.
calculations to help with the world. So when the COVID pandemic hit, Folding at Home was able to actually map out quite a bit of the DNA of the COVID virus, right? And this was possible through a lot of people getting together, running the application on their computers, and actually helping out with the entire project. And one way that Folding at Home incentivized people to do this was by offering them Dogecoin in return. So even though it was a meme coin, they were able to incentivize people into helping out as a community towards the COVID-19 research about the virus and the vaccine itself. And that's one way that meme coins actually helped out and were useful for once in the world.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that is they did it in such a way that you didn't really require any cost price. No one had to actually spend money to like no one's like any random person sitting at home didn't have to really spend money on buying something in order to help someone. They could simply just use the technology they already had and download some software, run something on it, and use their processing power to help people. And in return, they got paid. So it was a situation where pretty much everyone won,
Yeah.
and that's something you see with cryptocurrency. Like a lot of people, since cryptocurrency is like made by the people for the people, a lot of people
A lot of them
involved in
claim to be
cryptocurrency,
made for the people
yeah,
by the people. Yeah.
yeah, but a lot of them do help out, other people, the community, the world a lot. And one of these people is Vitalik Buterin. We've mentioned before when we were talking about Ethereum. So he co-founded the Ethereum blockchain, and he's made some pretty smart cryptocurrency investments because
Yeah.
as of today, he has billions of dollars worth of altcoins. There's Doge, and there are other coins that are similar to Doge. There's Ether. He has a lot of them. And when the COVID, when at the peak of the second wave, the second COVID wave here in India, there were hundreds of thousands of new cases per day.
Yeah.
I speak there were maybe 300, 400,000. If you look at the graph, it says 300, 400,000 new cases every single day at its peak.
Yeah.
And that was one of, if not the worst in the world at the time. So what Buterin did is he took $1 billion worth of cryptocurrency. Most of them were Doge-like altcoins. He took $1 billion worth of them, and he donated to the India COVID fund. And
Yeah.
that's what people do. I think recently he got rid of $6 billion worth of cryptocurrency because he felt like it was too much power. He had too much power simply because he got in very early. He got into the crypto game very early. He felt like that gave him too much power over, people who are getting into it just now. And that really shows you that a lot of these people who are involved in cryptocurrency, they really believe in it being by the people and
Yeah,
for the people, because they're
they
not just
believe in
looking
it
out
being an
for
actual
themselves, they're looking out for
alternative
everyone.
to fiat currency in the
Yeah.
future. Yeah, in fact, the founders of Dogecoin as well, like any money they make off the recent hype that happened with the Dogecoin, happened with Dogecoin in April, they've actually donated a lot of their money to children's hospital, to cancer research, etc., etc. And there's a lot of good that happened out of the Dogecoin spike as well. So you see like a general I don't know, general tendency of the community to help out where they can. In fact, if you go to the Dogecoin subreddit r/Dogecoin on Reddit today, and you simply post your wallet ID over there and ask people for Dogecoin, they will give it to you. And they will give you actual Dogecoin just because you asked for it, because they want you to be a part of the network, they want you to be a part of the community and actually use the currency in the future. And I think that's the main difference between people who invest in cryptocurrency as an investment and actually look at the technology and go, oh, this is something that I want to use in the future, and this is something that I would like to see in the future. And so the two camps are separated in the way that one person would put money in Bitcoin today and take it out, let's say 5 years down the line, and the other person would buy Bitcoin today and keep it till the future where like Bitcoin is widely accepted and they actually believe that it's gonna go somewhere
Yeah.
and it's revolutionary and it's new. Uh, yeah, and that's the main thing that
Yeah. And
helps with it.
yeah, because there definitely are people who want to just, get in quick, get rich, and get out of cryptocurrency, right? Just invest, wait for maybe, a few days, a few weeks, a few months. And as soon as it spikes, just take your money and leave. But the majority of the people actually want to see cryptocurrency succeed so that it can
Yeah.
become a more stable and more accepted form of currency in the future. I feel like we used some of these methods when we were trying to get Doge, because the Reddit thing, sure, I think we tried asking people for Doge and Reddit, but there are also these things called crypto faucets, where you simply go on the site. Like if you have a Dogecoin faucet, which we use, you go on the site, you enter your wallet ID, and you say, "Give me Doge," and it'll give you maybe
And
like
they'll give you Doge.
I think the first time I got 0.00035 Doge, which isn't bad. Like
Like
you're
for free
getting
money, it's free money.
cryptocurrency for free.
Take
It's free
whatever
money.
you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want more, you can even go on these sites where they give out, they like you can complete surveys, you can watch ads, and in return they give you a cryptocurrency. There are a lot of ways apart from, because mining cryptocurrency requires like
Yeah.
very intensive technology, like
Yeah, we're gonna get
you need to
into
have hardware that can keep up. Yeah, we're gonna get into
when we
that,
get to
but it
mining. Yeah.
requires hardware that can keep up, and that can keep up under the pressure and the strain. So a good alternative is to go to crypto faucets or these sites where they give you a crypto for completing tasks, because that's easy on your computer and you're still getting it for free.
Yeah, basically. So there's a lot of questions now. I'm sure people have questions regarding how to actually get into crypto. Where do I get cryptocurrency from? Right? We addressed faucets and we addressed Reddit posts online, but in like a more traditional sense, how we could get into cryptocurrency. So the standard way that was intended to be used, at least, was that you have to download the entire blockchain on your computer. Okay, when you download the entire blockchain on your computer, essentially it's a record of every transaction made since the currency was created, right? So these files are often very, very large. The Dogecoin file was, I think, 300 GB, or
No, I feel like Bitcoin was in the hundreds of GB. Dogecoin we downloaded was about somewhere from 45 to 60 GB.
sorry, my bad. Then, yeah, Bitcoin is 300 GB.
I remember
and
this because
Dogecoin
we had to find ways to not wait for weeks for it to download and sync with the rest of the world.
Yeah.
I remember it taking a lot of time out of our days to do this.
Yeah, so Dogecoin is about 45 GB of like the ledger, the blockchain ledger of the entire history of the cryptocurrency, right? So once you download that, you become something called a node in the network, which essentially means you're participating in it now. All right, you have a copy of the entire transaction history, and you can verify it now. All right, and the more people that do that, the more decentralized it becomes, because the more you can't scam it. Because even if I change the ledger on my thing to say I have 100 million Dogecoin, it won't change in everybody else's ledger. And when the cryptocurrency is syncing with everybody else across the internet, they'll notice that and fix that, and my blockchain will get terminated, right? So because of the fact that everybody owns the entire ledger, we aren't able to scam our way any cryptocurrency. So if you want to actually get into cryptocurrency, the most foolproof and the most complete way of it is to download the entire blockchain on your computer, and that gives you a wallet. where you have a wallet ID to receive and a wallet ID to send cryptocurrency to people, right? So you can do both ways, right? And
Yeah.
to get Bitcoin or any Dogecoin or anything for that matter, you can do something called mining, right? And we're gonna get into it now. How to mine a cryptocurrency, all right? It's very similar to what you would consider to be printing traditional currency, like how printing and mint
Yeah.
presses print out notes and coins. Same way you can mine cryptocurrency. So yeah, let's get into mining now.
Yeah. But like, just one thing before we get into mining. There's an interesting cycle that actually emerges because, as Saksham said right now, you need more people to have the blockchain with them, to have the ledger, so that it's harder to scam the system, and that creates a cycle where to get more people into a particular cryptocurrency, to make them accept it and maybe move towards them using it as a normal currency, and where to the point where it's recognized by governments and people around the world. To get people to actually believe in it and use it, you need to make it secure. But to make it secure, you need to get as many people as possible. So it creates a cycle,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Because
kind
if
of
you
a
have
loop.
maybe if you have if yeah if I create my own cryptocurrency today, right, and it's just me and Saksham, maybe like two or three of our friends using it. If I go on five computers and I change the transaction on all five, I can give myself like an
Yeah.
unlimited amount of that cryptocurrency. But if with 5 million people instead, it gets so much harder, and that's why we really need to get as many people as possible into a particular cryptocurrency to make sure it's secure, and that in turn will help get more people. It's like somewhere you need to insert yourself into the cycle, and from there it just takes itself.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, we're going to talk about mining now,
Yes.
Saksham.
So mining in the most like simple terms, right? In the most simple, so mining isn't the same across every cryptocurrency. Mining methods can be different. Blockchains are different. The way it works is different. Everything is different for every cryptocurrency. So everything that we're describing over here and talking about over here is the simplest, most basic form of it. Mining in this scenario would mean that a miner is simply someone who verifies transactions. So if I send Ved, let's say, a Bitcoin, then the ledger will show that it's gone from my wallet ID to Ved's wallet ID. But that isn't enough. Someone in the middle needs to come in and verify transactions actually happened. So in a normal scenario, that would be a bank, right? So a bank would verify that you had $100 in your account and you gave someone $50 out of that. And the bank would verify that's actually happened.
Yeah.
In a cryptocurrency, that's the miner, right? And once the miner is able to verify the transactions happen through complex mathematical calculations, they get rewarded for that work that they've done in cryptocurrency. And that's the traditional way for you to earn
Yeah.
cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's the thing. You need to have enough people verifying cryptocurrency and for it to work, right? Because before that transaction from Saksham to me, that $100 or how much ever he's paying me, that's going to get recorded on every single person's ledger. Everyone who owns that blockchain, like on their computer. So you need to make sure you can't get that information wrong at that first stage, at that first step. And to do
Yeah.
that, you need to have someone to verify it. And it makes sense and it's only fair to reward them somehow. And that would be through mining by giving them some small piece of that cryptocurrency.
Yeah. The reason it's called
Yeah.
mining is because it's very similar to actual mining in the ground for rare earth metals, etc., etc., where you do some work and you get rewarded for that work in some money or in some monetary form of payment. And the way mining works is that because it's such complex computer calculations, such complex mathematical calculations, you can't do it in your head. You can't do it physically. It has to be done through a computer. And because of how high level these calculations have become, because of the traffic and because of how complicated these transactions are now, you require a very high powered mining rig. You require a specific dedicated computer built only for mining with specific CPUs and graphics cards that can support that. And therefore, mining isn't very easy for everyone. So even though me and Wade tried mining Dogecoin, which was like the simplest, most easiest meme
Yeah.
coin to mine, our computers still weren't able to handle that level of calculation. Our computers weren't actually able to mine any significant amount of Dogecoin, right? So you can only
You can
imagine how much
actually
harder
ruin
it
your
is.
hardware.
Yeah, you can. So you can only imagine how hard it is to mine something like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are so popular and everyone in the world is mining them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, and one interesting thing about it is that since cryptocurrency has gotten so popular in recent years, the number of like mining rigs and mining plants around the world where people just collect a large amount of hardware, and they build like a lot of mining rigs under this one structure, where their only goal is to mine maybe Bitcoin or Ether or any other cryptocurrency. Because people have been purchasing so much hardware and to build their mining rigs, cryptocurrency has actually been one. It's not the maybe not the main one, but it has been one of the reasons or one of the causes behind the semiconductors shortage around the world, which you've probably heard of.
Yeah, it's the reason you
That did
can't buy a
happen
graphics
mainly
card right
due to
now
the like
or a computer.
yeah. So yeah, it's like today if you want to buy if you want to build your own gaming rig, with the latest graphics card, and, you'll probably find it really hard or really expensive, and that's because of the shortages taking place. I think the primary cause was because of the
The
semiconductors
pandemic.
used in cars and other automobiles, and and the pandemic. But cryptocurrency definitely has been one of the causes of that, and that just
Yeah,
shows you how big the impact cryptocurrency has is because what started out as this one cryptocurrency, not even 15, 12 years ago, what started out as
yeah.
this one currency 12 years ago has now expanded into so many like millions of different currencies and is now creating a semiconductor shortage all around the world.
Yeah,
Like that's
mining
the kind of impact that cryptocurrency has.
in the crypto boom earlier in the year, everyone just rushed to mine and thought to get in early
Yeah.
into the boom, and because of that, a lot of people actually suffered because they weren't able to buy computers, buy essential stuff that has semiconductors and chips in it, and that was a big cause for that. And like we mentioned, a lot of people create these things called mining farms where they have multiple like server racks and racks and racks of mining rigs, which are all mining cryptocurrencies, right? And it's almost become like a business now, where you own a mining farm where you're able to get cryptocurrencies again and again. The problem this creates is that when you're mining so many on such a large scale, it requires a lot of power, not only computer power but also electrical power. And because of that, strategically, it makes more sense to put mining farms in countries and in locations where electricity is cheaper. So you actually make some profit in your mining this thing, in your mining operation. So because of that, a lot of these farms are found in countries like China and Switzerland, where electricity is very cheap, but that also has a negative impact. Right. So, because of the fact that electricity is cheap over here, it's created with fossil fuels and other non-renewable sources of energy, which creates more pollution. And because of that, these mining farms have also become a big concern around the world for their environmental impact, because they are in countries where electricity is produced with fossil fuels primarily, and that's another negative side of mining that cryptocurrencies have in indirectly led into.
Yeah, it has such a huge impact on the environment, but also because of that, there are people out there who are working on making their own cryptocurrencies, which don't require this kind of they don't have this kind of toll
Yeah.
on the environment. There are cryptocurrencies out there that are being made that are going to be eco-friendly and won't require this kind of energy.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, I think again coming back to the problem of inequality, like Ved mentioned before about the Ethereum co-founder who donated $6 billion of Bitcoin because he felt he had too much power. That's also a concern with mining farms, because if you have one person who owns this huge mining farm that can mine 100 Bitcoin in a month, he all of a sudden owns way more Bitcoin than the other person who uses the network, who maybe has like half a Bitcoin or like 0.002 Bitcoin. And because of that, it kind of takes away from the decentralized and equality nature of these cryptocurrencies. So that's also a concern with mining. And because of that, a lot of the cryptocurrencies are shifting towards different methods that will allow everyone to mine. That'll essentially reduce the cost and the resources required for you to mine a cryptocurrency. Even Ethereum is shifting to a different mining algorithm by which more and more people can actually get into the blockchain, and the barrier of entry for mining is reduced in cryptocurrencies, which leads to more equality and everyone participating in this network together.
Yeah, but even though there are these many people who are getting into cryptocurrency every day, there are still some factors in particular that have a huge impact on how cryptocurrency works. And um, sorry, yeah, and also since we mentioned the mining rigs, right? The mining rigs, or how Saksham and I tried to get cryptocurrency wallets, that requires you to download the entire blockchain onto your device, right? It requires, for us, we have to use maybe what 45, 60 GB
Yeah.
of us memory on Dogecoin, and that's a lot, and that's only growing every day. That because that file size will grow as more people get into Dogecoin. So what a lot of people do is they opt to use these online trading platforms instead. So
Yeah.
similar, like if you buy
Crypto
stocks, right? A lot of
exchanges.
when yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're buying stocks and shares, you will use these online platforms to buy it, right? You have like Robinhood, or in India, I think one very popular platform is Stockal or Stockale.
Yeah.
So people use these online platforms, and it's the same thing with cryptocurrency because not everyone has the intention of mining it, right?
Yeah.
If you want to mine it, sure, you have to download the entire blockchain. But a lot of people just want to get in, invest, and hold or sell cryptocurrency. And for that, there are platforms online where you can do just this without downloading blockchains. There's Binance, there's Kraken. Those are the
Yeah.
two
In India, you
very
have, I
popular
think,
ones.
Coin DCX and Wazir X, which are
No
two
NDCX.
Indian
Yeah.
crypto exchanges.
Yeah, and they,
Yeah.
they function in a way that's very similar to stock exchanges, where you simply use real money, right, to buy some amount of a certain cryptocurrency, and then you own it. That's it. You pay money, you get the cryptocurrency in your online wallet that is located on the maybe Binance or Kraken or any other website. You store it in your account, in your wallet, and then when you want to sell it, you simply place it back onto the market, and someone else will pay real money. And it functions again, it's very similar to a stock, which is something
Yeah.
that a lot more people are comfortable with and familiar with. So there isn't this like really steep learning curve like there is with mining Bitcoin, right? Because here people are um they are familiar with like this process of buying and selling like goods, right, or stocks or whatever. So this helps a lot of people who are new to a cryptocurrency get into it because they don't have to worry about the technical aspect of it. They don't have to worry about maybe the code or the technology or how any of it
Yeah.
works. All they just need to treat it as some product or as a stock or as a commodity that has some value that will change, and they either buy or sell it. And
Yeah.
that's what's really
So
helpful, right? That's why Binance and Kraken are really helpful to people who don't know much about it.
yeah, this actually creates like a whole different side of cryptocurrencies. Really, the fact that you have crypto exchanges like stock exchanges where you can buy, sell, trade cryptocurrencies using real money, that creates a whole different aspect to it. Like that almost becomes very similar to the stock market in a way that now you can short cryptocurrencies. You can trade on leverage in these platforms, and because of that, it makes it far more accessible to the financial markets, right? And more people get into these currencies as an investment or look at it as something where they want to put their money in and keep it for a while, or maybe they want to put it in, take it out. Day trading, for example, instead of people day trading stocks these days, you actually have people who day trade cryptocurrencies, and that becomes like a profession for them and a way to support their livelihood for them. And that brings a whole new dimension into cryptocurrency because now all of a sudden you can download an app on your phone, make an account, get your KYC done, and you can trade cryptocurrencies or with real money. And that's a very cool aspect that I think uh, makes cryptocurrencies more accessible to people and makes it more popular for people generally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like stocks and like shares, cryptocurrencies are also susceptible to external factors, right? Like that changes value. Because yeah, we said it earlier. I said it earlier about how um, cryptocurrencies are they are influenced by the hype behind it, how many people are talking about it,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But it's not just a community like r slash Dogecoin on Reddit, where a bunch of people who simply like the technology and invest some of their savings into it are talking about it. It's sometimes there are people who have slightly more influence over it, some people who have slightly less. And
Just like a
one
stock.
recent example of this,
So like
yeah,
how
just like a stock, people,
if a company announces a
yeah.
new product or something, stock goes up. Company get into some trouble with something, they can't fulfill orders, stock goes down. Simple, right? And if the CEO says something, stock goes up, stock goes down. Essentially, there are a lot of people who can influence the market, and that's especially true with the new stock aspect of it, because the fact that everyone can easily buy and sell cryptocurrencies and it's almost like a stock now, this has even more impact on the prices of it. This has even more impact on people who are getting into cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, and like with stocks, the more people trust a certain person or entity, or the more maybe famous they are, the more influence their words or their actions will have on a particular stock. And one example of this that most people will have heard of over the past few,
The
not
Doge
just
process.
weeks, it's actually months. It's weeks and months and maybe years at this point. One definitely have heard of is Elon Musk, right? Co-founder
Yeah.
of Tesla and SpaceX and originally PayPal and
Neuralink.
several other companies. We're Neuralink now, which is a
Yeah.
little scary, but yeah. No, but today, like in 2021, Elon Musk has a huge influence on everything that goes on in the world, especially if it's something related to technology, right?
Yeah.
Like a single tweet from him can cause any can cause any cryptocurrency to either skyrocket in value or just
Or
drop off really
drop
sharply.
completely. Yeah.
Yeah,
In fact, he
and
was a big part of the reason why Dogecoin became so big. Him posting memes about Dogecoin, tweeting about Dogecoin to the moon, diamond hands holding,
yeah,
has all led to
yeah,
the Dogecoin cryptocurrency going way up than it was supposed to. It wasn't meant to be this high. In fact, he tweeted out that him and his son has started investing in Dogecoin as a game, and he's teaching his son how to trade stocks and trade cryptocurrencies by using Dogecoin as an educational platform. It's a very interesting way to look at it. I felt.
yeah. And also, what happens is uh, it's not just his words, right? It's also actions that are taken by him or people very close to him. So Tesla, right? Um, Tesla makes electric cars. It's one of the things Elon Musk is most famous for.
Yeah.
Tesla actually started accepting Bitcoin in payment, which is a huge deal in the world of cryptocurrency because what 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 supporters and like founders, supporters, people who are involved with cryptocurrency really want is for it to be accepted worldwide so that people can use it either with or instead of traditional forms of currency, right? So
Yeah.
like I can go to a store, pay with cryptocurrency, and it's completely acceptable and normal. People want that. So a
The more
huge
places that
company
accept
like
it,
Tesla,
the more credibility the network gets, and the more credibility that people who
yeah,
use it have.
yeah. So a huge like mainstream company like Tesla doing that set a huge precedent. People were really excited about it. And because Tesla started accepting Bitcoin, it caused Bitcoin's value to skyrocket, right? And that's one of the
Yeah.
reason Bitcoin's value reached $60,000
Yeah.
back a few months ago.
100%.
Yeah, but
100%.
then Elon Tesla flipped it around, right? They
Full
did a full
180.
180.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and then
they
they
stopped accepting
just
Bitcoin. And it was a very sudden decision, and
yeah
they justified it by saying that due to the current environmental concerns around Bitcoin, which I'll admit are very, very real, Tesla didn't align with the company's image of electric cars and a sustainable future, and because of that, Tesla decided to stop accepting Bitcoin, which was a very odd move, given the fact that the environmental concerns around mining aren't a new thing. They have been around for a very long time, and Elon Musk, who's
yeah
a big champion for climate change and for ending climate change and saving the earth, the fact that he was not aware of it before he announced it, it was kind of weird because people felt like
yeah
it was more of
strange.
a joke, and the people who lost money in the Bitcoin crash that followed after that was certainly not very happy with Elon Musk. And because of that, some people
Yeah,
actually did
because
accuse him of market manipulation and of having too much influence. And it does raise questions. If one man can influence the amount of money you have in a cryptocurrency, which is meant to be this platform where it's completely decentralized and people can't control it, is it really though? And that raised some questions regarding the legitimacy of decentralized cryptocurrencies and whether they can actually ever be
yeah,
decentralized or not.
because it's going against what the core concept of most cryptocurrencies is, right? That it's decentralized. It's going against that because one person is having this much influence. Because if you go on, I opened Twitter the other day and I was scrolling through the replies
Yeah.
under one of Elon's tweets, right?
Hmm.
And so he tweeted something about Doge, but it wasn't. It was just a joke. He just tweeted some really short
Yeah.
joke about Doge, and the comments were full of people. They were really angry. They were raging at him about how they lost so much money because of him, and the only reason they invested in Doge was because of Elon,
Yeah.
and he's the reason that they've lost like huge amounts, like thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And when you read something like that, would you really you probably imagine something along the lines of Elon going around and just like preaching to people about how they really should buy, like invest everything they have in Bitcoin and
Hmm.
Doge and similar things. You probably imagine him being very pro cryptocurrency very openly and very directly telling people that they should go and invest in such things. But if you really look at his tweets, if you look at what really made their value go
Yeah.
up so much, it'll just be talking about this. There was this one tweet a few months ago, which was just the word Doge.
Yeah, just
It
the
was
word
Elon
Doge.
Musk, and he just tweeted the word Doge, and that
Yeah.
caused this value to go up, and people started buying so much Doge because of that. And that's why it's really weird, and it does raise some questions
What do
because
you think of it? Is it
one
market
person's opinion.
manipulation? Should he be allowed to do that?
Next question.
No, but for real, I don't think it's
No,
really.
but
I think it's a concern
I don't
with
think it's
when.
market manipulation.
Yeah,
It
I
is
don't think it's
concerning. I don't
exactly
think it's market
manipulation. I
manipulation.
think it's a concern, but the thing is that you can't really tell him to not tweet about Dogecoin because that's even
Exactly,
wrong
because it's
in
not
my
like,
opinion.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, because then it's his freedom of speech that you're just like banning. And more
yeah,
importantly, I think it's only market manipulation when you intentionally do it so that someone can profit of it. It's like if I'm Elon Musk and you're my friend, right? I can tell you, and like the value of Doge is pretty low. If I tell you to like buy 2 million Doge right now, and you do it, and then I tweet about it and it goes up, and then you sell it, that's definitely market manipulation
yeah. But I
because
would
I know
argue he
exactly
did make a
when.
profit. I would argue he must have made a profit on uh, Dogecoin for sure when it shot up because of his tweets. He did make a profit on it, but I think the reason you can't exactly call it market manipulation is because all of his tweets were just memes, or either memes about Doge, just the word Doge, like you said, and he wasn't exactly trying to pump up the price in a way. The price pumped up as a result of it, but it wasn't a direct connection between the two. Like there was a connection, but it wasn't
Yeah, I
as a
feel like
result of him saying something, right? And I think
yeah,
that's the main thing. Like the lesson over here is that don't listen to your favorite celebrity or your favorite pop star just because they like a particular coin.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the
because
reason behind
like with
investing in
Doge and
something.
Elon, you might lose a lot of your savings. And but I feel like yeah, it's also about what he tweeted, right? Because
Yeah,
if he tweeted something along the lines of how he really how he really thinks Dogecoin is the future, and people if he directly tells people to start investing in it, start
yeah,
buying it, that's a problem then because he knows the influence that he has, and he's directly telling people to buy it, which he knows will drive the price up. And like it's not just something he knows; everyone knows that that's how the market works, right?
yeah.
People buy it, value goes up. And if he does it directly, I feel like that would be market manipulation.
But
But
also,
in this case, it was
yeah, but also we know nothing about law, so whatever we're saying
that's true.
may or may not be correct.
This is just what we feel
This is just what
is
we feel.
right, like logically.
Yeah, but even if
Yeah.
it was textbook law not correct, they couldn't really get him for market manipulation because there aren't any laws surrounding the crypto market or any like crime
Yeah, that's why
regarding things
we
regarding this.
need legislation
Yeah,
regarding
to
cryptocurrency.
prevent stuff like this happening. But you know what? I would love to know Elon Musk's tweet on them. In fact, Elon, if you're watching this, we would love to have you on the podcast. Please, everyone's go at Elon Musk. Tell him to come on the Fried Circuit. It's the best high school student
Yeah.
podcast. Okay, so
Yeah.
moving on a bit from serious
Now
stuff
we
like cryptocurrencies to something a bit more
there's
fun.
something really interesting coming up.
Yes,
It's really interesting coming up now.
NFTs that live,
Non-fungible tokens.
yes, that live on the cryptocurrency blockchain. And before this, I didn't know the word fungible meant something. So, Vay, you're the better person over here. What are NFTs?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, you know what? I can actually just pull up the Google definition first before I explain it. I feel like that might help people.
Okay.
Okay. So, according to Google, fungible of goods contracted for without an individual specimen being specified, replaceable by another identical item or mutually interchangeable.
Okay,
That
yeah,
doesn't tell
you
us
said all
anything, so
that.
I
I
think I'll just
don't.
explain it.
Yeah, I don't know what that meant.
Yeah, I think that doesn't mean anything, so I think
Yeah.
I'll just explain. So when something is fungible, that means there are other, not copies of it, but there are other versions of it or other things identical to it out there, and they are equal in every single way. They're equal in value, they're equal in what you can do with them, in their properties, and basically everything about them and what they're capable of and what their value is. Everything about it is exactly equal.
So, like
So
two
if I have
apples.
1 rupee with me, yeah, two apples, or yeah, two apples is a great example because if especially like if I pick two apples from the same plant in the same farm, they are pretty much identical in like value, right? If I bring them to like a market to sell them, that particular apple from like apples from that particular farm will all have the same price, approximately the same size. People will buy them and not really see any difference in them, right? They won't mind buying one over the other. And where this gets really interesting is when you talk about it in terms of currencies. So the rupee, for example, if I have 10 rupees, if I have a 10 rupee note in my hand, and you have a 10 rupee note in your hand, those are two fungible items, right? Because they are exactly the same. They have the same value. You can do the same things with it. And anything that you do because of it or as a consequence of it or with it is exactly the same. I can buy a 10 rupee packet of Lay's right now, but you with your 10 rupee note can also buy the same 10 rupee packet of Lay's. So that everything about, they aren't unique in any way. Every single 10 rupee note or 10 rupees in general, is 10 rupees as a concept, whether it's as a note or in coins, it is fungible. It is exactly the same. It is worth the same thing. And you can be used for the same thing. But NFTs, that's where it gets interesting because these are non-fungible.
So it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Essentially, no two items are alike and they can't be used for the same thing. Like every NFT is unique to itself, and you cannot have something that's exactly the same to it, right? Okay, so this creates like some interesting scenarios for us now. So if you have an NFT, it's a one-of-one thing. So it's more like a piece of art in a way, right? It's almost like an original item created by someone that cannot be copied because it's original, right? So like it would be same as if I paint a painting or if I create something, that would also be an NFT in the real world because you can't really duplicate the exact same thing again. Like the Mona Lisa, for example.
Yes.
Even if I were to take a paintbrush, the exact same paints, the exact same canvas, I couldn't draw the exact Mona Lisa. No matter how good I am, it'll never be the exact same painting, right?
Yes. Yeah, it won't.
Yeah.
And like even if like millimeter by millimeter, micrometer by micrometer, you make it exactly the same as it is hanging right now in the Louvre, it's not going to be the Mona Lisa. It's not going to be the one that people go to the Louvre for from around the world to see. Even if it looks exactly the same, at the end of the day, that is the original one. Doesn't matter how yours looks, how yours feels, how people think yours is the same. That is the original one, and that's the one that has any value, right? And that's the same thing with NFTs. That then the cool thing about NFTs is, if you notice, like just before we get into it, it has the word token there, and that's it's really different from the cryptocurrency aspect because with cryptocurrencies, it's just currencies. Tokens can be anything on the internet that you want to make absolutely unique, and that no one can ever replicate, or you can never have multiple owners. That's a non-fungible token. Yeah. And there are examples of this, such as
the reason it's connected with blockchain technology and cryptocurrency generally is because the only way to ensure that this is a one-of-one item, never going to be copied ever again, and it stays unique as a non-fungible token, is to put on a blockchain. So NFTs exist on the blockchain. So instead of having like transaction records, for example, you'll have a record of the NFT being in your possession. So we'll say, wallet ID this has XYZ NFT ID or whatever, and this NFT belongs to this person. And that can't be changed. The ownership of the NFT can't be changed because, again, everybody owns the blockchain. You can't simply go and make edits. Yeah. And that's why it's so deeply interlinked with the blockchain technology. That's the only way you can have an NFT. Yeah.
And you can store like all sorts of things as NFTs, right? You can store art or like other forms of media, maybe GIFs, videos, images. You can have sports highlights, collect memes definitely. There's actually an interesting example of that I'll come to after this. You can even have like physical items such as like sneakers, all right? All of these things can be stored as NFTs. And when you store as an NFT, right, it gets this unique digital signature. Which shows that it has unique digital signature, and the file itself has some metadata. And in all of that, what's recorded is like the transaction that took place, who it belongs to currently, and you also have the option of smart contracts, which are similar to normal contracts in the world, right? Maybe you want to sell it after some piece of time. Maybe you have like a predefined clause, about what price you sell it at. all these things are automatically enforced by a smart contract, which is just a digital contract that someone has coded and put along with the NFT.
Yeah.
So
Actually, quick segue.
I was
Before
talking
you get
about
into smart
Sasha mentioned memes,
contracts,
right? Yeah.
you mentioned smart contracts. So, in the real world, if you have a contract, you have a judge and a lawyer and a judicial system that will enforce the contract in case it doesn't happen in the like just normal in the normal world. In blockchain technologies, because it's decentralized, you don't have those same judges or the system to enforce the contract. And that's why smart contracts like Ved said are automatic, right? So you code a smart contract that says on this day you will pay me XYZ. Let's say it's a contract about some money that Ved owes me, and I
Yeah.
say on 10th of June you will pay me 10 Bitcoin Ved. Then the smart contract will automatically take 10 Bitcoin from Ved and give it to me, despite anybody else
Yeah.
intervening in the middle. And that's what's so unique. In fact, that's what leads you to create. That's what enables you to create dApps and decentralized applications, multiple smart contracts linked together that work automatically to actually make the future of the app work on the blockchain. Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's this popular video on the internet. I'm sure everyone has seen it. It's over 10 years old now.
Yeah.
It's called Charlie Bit My Finger. And it's this
Iconic
video
YouTube
of like
memes.
this, I know, iconic YouTube meme. Like everyone's seen it,
Yeah.
millions of views. And it's about this young kid
Mm-hmm.
who bites his brother's finger. And the brother cries to the mom about it, saying Charlie Bit My Finger.
My
But
finger.
basically, it's iconic. And basically, it's
uh,
iconic and
yeah.
it's a really well known part of internet culture.
Yeah.
So earlier this year, actually, the creator, like the person who uploaded the original Charlie Bit My Finger video on YouTube, sold it as an NFT. So what they did was they took the original video file and they sold it as an NFT for it was hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the cool thing about, and then after that, they took it down from YouTube. But I mean, that doesn't really matter, right? Because I'm sure thousands, maybe even millions of people have downloaded the video and re-uploaded it. But the thing
Yeah.
is, those videos, even though they're exactly the same, frame by frame, second by second, they're not the original video, right? They're just re-uploads. And even if you upload it from the same channel, it's not. It's never going to be that original video that was uploaded over 10 years ago and that
Yeah.
was recorded over 10 years ago.
Which is why it's a bit weird, because since NFTs can only exist digitally, right? So let's take the example of the video that you mentioned, Charlie Bit My Finger. So in that video, I have seen that video multiple times over, right? I'm sure if I go on
Yeah.
the internet right now, there'll be multiple YouTube channels that'll have it up, or you can definitely find like the video, multiple videos of it on the internet, exactly the same video, same color, same everything, right?
Yeah.
But it's not this the exact video file that was uploaded on YouTube 10 years ago, right? But what's the
Yeah.
difference really? Like if I have the exact same thing
Yeah.
reconstructed a different file, don't I own Charlie
Yeah.
with my finger? What's the point in that person paying
Yeah.
$100,000 to own the actual file that it had?
Yeah.
Because it makes no difference.
I feel like here it's more about like bragging rights. You know, the fact that you own
Yeah.
something that is an original. It's more about that
Mm-hmm.
than about what the thing is itself. Right? So if you buy a car, right? If you buy
Yeah.
a car that was made in the mid
Mm-hmm.
1900s, you have that car, but someone else might have the an identical car which I don't know belonged to John F. Kennedy, for example. Right?
Okay.
It can be the exact same car, same model, same color, maybe even the same like wear and tear and damage
Yeah.
done to it. But one of them had Kennedy in the
It was
driver's seat.
Kennedy's
One of
car.
them did, and
It
that one's
was
going to be one of them is
not
going to be
Kennedy's
worth
car.
so
Yeah.
much more, just because of like bragging rights and the fact that
Yeah,
who
but I
had it
think
first.
but that's a bit different with physical items, right? But in terms of so like you can never own that same car, correct? But in a
Yeah,
digital thing like a video or a picture, where every pixel is the same, or
yeah,
like every frame is the same, every color, every motion, everything's the same essentially. What's the difference really? And I think this is where Theseus' ship comes in, which is a philosophical concept, which said that Theseus was a guy who owned a ship, and he was a great captain, and he rode the ship for long months, right, through the entire life, and the ship broke down at a point, right, and eventually it was like in a pretty bad condition, and it was put in a museum, right, because Theseus was a famous guy and he did a lot of conquests with that ship. As time went on, there was wear and tear, and the ship was eventually at a point where it was really, really bad, and the museum had to restore the ship. Now, that happened once. 10 years later, happened again, and then again, and then again, and then again. And after all those restorations, they reached a point where every plank on that ship, every mast, every string, every sail was actually a new item, right? It had completely been replaced. So essentially, they've
Yeah.
reconstructed Theseus's ship from the start, but with new materials. Is that still Theseus's
Yeah.
ship?
Yeah. I think that's
Yeah,
what
I
it is
think
here. It's more about the concept of
yeah,
where it came from, where it originated from,
it's
that
more about
makes
what
it
you believe in
so
this
we'll be,
scenario. Yeah, it's more
yeah.
about which side
Because
of
if
the
there's
fence
an
you're on.
image, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because if there's an image online, right, that's an NFT, right now I can press two keys and take a screenshot. I have that image on
yeah,
my
it's the
laptop.
exact same image.
Yeah.
Everything's the
It's
same. All the
exactly the
pixels are the
same.
same. Yeah,
Yeah. Like
but
I
it's
have that
not
image and I have a
that
bit
same
more, but
file.
I can crop that out. But yeah,
Yeah,
I have that exact image with me, but it's just never going to be the original file or the original picture that was taken. And
yeah.
it's that sense of originality that gives it its value.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's based, like the fact that it's so closely related to like thesis ship, a philosophical concept that still has people arguing on both sides, is what makes NFT
Yeah.
such a unique thing, such a very internet culture thing, in today's time. Because some people
Yeah.
say it's a fad, it's gonna go away, it has no value whatsoever, and some people are hell bent on the fact that this is the new thing, this is the new way to share art, this is the new way for us to, new way for creatives to get themselves out there and for their work to actually get the recognition it deserves, because this bypasses traditional systems. For example, if you're an artist now, you don't have to paint and get your painting in a Sotheby's auction, or you don't have to get your painting in some rich person's house and like rely on somebody else recognizing its worth and buying it for money. In this, with NFTs now, you can
Yeah.
simply make an NFT, put it out on the blockchain, reach millions of people at one time, and also get paid very well for your work. Right? An example of that is Beeple, who's
Yeah.
an internet artist. And what he did was, for 5,000 days, every day, he created a piece of internet art, right, with random pictures put together, drawings, and every day he did that religiously for 5,000 days. He then compiled those
Yeah.
5,000 pieces of art, those 5,000 pictures into one picture, and that piece of art
Yeah.
sold for $69 million recently, which is the highest price ever paid for any NFT. And you could argue that Beeple, an artist, would never have been able to sell this same work for the same amount of price in real life, but he has been able to do it through an
Yeah. He
NFT.
wouldn't.
But it's also weird because I have a picture of the same artwork. I can view every single picture that he made across 5,000 days, and I can
Thousand
use it the
days. Yeah.
same
But
as the
it's
owner.
worthless.
Why is that worthless though? It's the
Yeah.
same
But it's
picture.
worthless.
Yeah, I think that's the whole thing about it. I think that even me and Ved are completely undecided on this, because we don't know whether it's actually worth something or not. I would argue that the fact that I can have the exact same thing means that there is no worth in the actual NFT. What's the point of having the original
Yeah.
picture that was put together by the artist when you can get the exact same thing on the internet for free? Yeah,
Exactly. It's just about that digital signature that makes it valuable.
yeah,
And $69 million is a lot, right?
yeah.
It is a
It's
lot for something. It's a lot in general. $69 million is more than the net worths of, like, I don't know, professional athletes
yeah,
and celebrities, singers, actors
mm-hmm.
out there. Like 69 million is a lot of money, and most people can't reach that. But
Yeah. In fact,
yeah,
artist
just
paintings by Monet sell for like $2 or $3 million. So the fact that Beeple's artwork has sold
exactly.
for 69 million, some would argue Beeple's a better
Yeah.
artist than Monet. No, I don't think
Especially
so.
because with Monet, it's yeah. With Monet, it's physical, right? You can take pictures of it. It's not going to be an actual painting painted on a canvas at some point. Here, I can take a screenshot. I have the exact same image,
Yeah,
but one of us has something worth $69 million. The other one doesn't, and that's
yeah,
just a really cool thing about
it's very
NFTs.
weird. But you know what? This thing has actually gone, I would argue, a bit too far. Like the fad has carried on to a point where people are actually going way beyond what was just essentially like a fun thing to do and a fun new concept. Recently, or like, not recently, a couple of years ago actually, an original Banksy painting was burnt in a YouTube live stream by a masked man.
Yeah,
And the reason it was burnt was because somebody purchased the same person purchased the Banksy painting, took a picture of it, a high quality picture of it, created that as an NFT, and then to increase the value of the NFT and to actually make the NFT be worth something, in a YouTube live stream they destroyed the Banksy painting. They physically burnt it in front of everyone, and I think the painting was worth $300,000 or close to $400,000 actually, and it was original
Yeah, when it
Banksy
was sold.
artwork. Yeah, when it was sold, and it was an original Banksy artwork that no longer exists in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah, which honestly
because
I, I can't
they
I
had
can't
a
back that.
painting.
I can't back that.
Yeah, that's not in good taste. You know, you took someone's original artwork, something that a lot of people would pay a lot of money for, a lot of people want to see,
Yeah,
and you destroy it just because you want to sell a picture of it online. That's not
yeah.
really
I don't think I can
doesn't look
stand
good for you.
behind that. Like in the
I
case
can't.
of Banksy, at
Yeah,
least
you
all of
can't.
his artwork was online. It was meant to be online. If Banksy wanted to make an
Yeah,
NFT, he'd make an NFT. But the fact that he
yeah.
painted a
If you want to do it
painting,
online, he would have.
yeah, the fact that he made a
Yeah,
painting, he painted it with certain materials, paints, etc., certain artistic creative vision, and he wanted people to see it. I just don't feel that it's fair to the artist for someone to just come buy it and then destroy it. Although it was their
yeah,
property,
yeah,
they can do whatever they want with it. But I
yeah,
think the culture that it's spreading is a bit misguided.
yeah. I
Uh,
mean, like whoever did it, right? They get away with it on a technicality that it was their property since they
yeah,
purchased it. But again, it's just not in good taste because some artist out there painted that like physically, so that people can see it in a public place such as a museum, or if you purchase it, you can like appreciate it at home or show it to other people.
yeah.
You know, but then it was just destroyed so that someone could
Hmm.
make a few $100,000 off
Yeah,
it.
it's also very interesting. The painting was called Morons, and it was a critique on the art market, depicting an auctioneer at Christie's auctioning paintings and people like raising their hands to get the painting. Uh, and it's actually ironic in a way because the same person has now destroyed the painting to make more money on the painting. So it was actually a critique. The painting
And
was a
auction it
critique
off online
on
as an NFT.
exactly the painting was a critique on the art market, which now because it's become an NFT market is the reason why the painting no longer exists. So it's kind of a weird chain in that way as well.
It is. It is.
Yeah. Would you buy an
Yeah.
NFT with if you could?
I mean, it depends. It depends on one, obviously, what my funds are like at the time, because I don't
It's
think
not
I'm
looking good.
going to be able to afford a valuable NFT anytime soon. But also, it
Yeah.
depends on what the NFT is.
Hmm.
And obviously, like, in case I don't like it that much, how much people will be willing to buy it from me for? Because that's the thing about
It's
NFTs. It's not
almost like an
like
investment.
I create an NFT. Yeah, because
Hmm.
it's not like I create an NFT and I sell it and then that person keeps it forever. It's like any other good that is 100% unique, right?
Hmm.
It's like the Mona Lisa. Someone bought the Mona Lisa from the Louvre, they could sell it to
You
whoever they
can't
want
buy
to,
the Mona
right?
Lisa from the Louvre.
You
You can
can't, you
try.
can't. But if someone did, they'd be able to do whatever they want
Yeah.
to with it,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
And
okay. If someone
see the
borrows
same
the
thing here.
Mona
Like
Lisa, that's gonna
I,
be sad. That's the last thing
oh,
you want to see.
I no, that's. I don't think anyone. I think people have the sense not to do that because I don't think that would end
That
well for
wouldn't go down
people.
well.
But
That wouldn't go down well.
that one, yeah, but no, like if I can buy an NFT and then
Hmm.
sell it again to someone at a higher price, then sure, then it wouldn't depend that much on what the NFT is. But if I'm buying it solely for the purpose of owning it uniquely, then it depends on how much I have and what the NFT is. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Why not? You know, it's you can buy something in real life, you can buy an NFT.
Yeah, I suppose so. But also,
It's a little different, but
yeah,
yeah,
I've seen some like really simple pieces of art, and like I don't know, to each their own with artistic taste. It's very different from person to person. But
yeah.
there's a lot of art that I don't think would be worth that much, like in in real life, that are sold for exorbitant
In
amounts
real
of
life
money,
too. Yeah.
as an NFT, right? And I think
But that
that's a
goes
very
the other
good
way around
thing.
too.
That's a very unique thing. Yeah, the other way around, right? That the artistic tastes of a select few elite people who have a lot of money with them don't decide what is actually art or is
Yeah.
not. Right? I think in a way it
Yeah,
also liberates the
it's
market.
yeah, because it takes more people's opinions into account. And also, I mean, I'm sure you've seen really simple paintings in real life too being sold for a large amount of money.
Yeah, yeah. But
Um,
traditionally, people who buy art are like
that
very
happens all the time.
elite people, right? Who have a lot of money and they
Yeah,
influence the new artistic direction the
yeah,
world's gonna take.
yeah. It's not for
And that
everyone.
doesn't happen anymore
Yeah,
because you have all these weird NFTs being sold
NFTs.
around the world for insane amounts of
Yeah,
money. Um,
yeah.
and that's the new
You know,
thing. Maybe who knows? Yeah.
since we talked about Elon Musk, his wife or is it
Hmm.
girlfriend? One of the two. His partner
His
Grimes,
partner,
right? She's a
significant
musician.
other. Yeah.
Significant other Grimes. She's a musician. she's raised over $6 million just through auctioning NFTs, like digital artwork online, right? All the NFTs were pieces of art, but just through auctioning different pieces of art, maybe buying it then reselling it, she's made over $6 million, which, I mean, if you consider the Grimes Musk family, that might not be a lot of money, but to most people, $6 million is a lot, especially for basically buying and selling a file. You're buying and selling a file or a piece of code. $6 million is a lot. You can sit here at your computer, do the transactions, and you made $6 million in profit.
Yeah, I think a lot of celebrities you see have been jumping on the NFT trend recently. In fact, Eminem recently sold a beat for $100,000, a beat that he made himself, and I think another rapper purchased it and made a song about it. So, you are certainly seeing like more mainstream acceptance of NFTs, more than cryptocurrencies actually. People aren't as excited about cryptocurrency as they are about NFTs, and that's also a very interesting thing. Who knows? Maybe in the future, someday, NFTs are like the dominant form of art and the dominant form of selling and buying art in the world.
They might be. Who knows? Yeah. Same thing with cryptocurrencies. It might go more mainstream than we think is possible right now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very excited to see like where the crypto space goes from here, because obviously we had a recent crash now. No one's willing to put money into cryptocurrency at this point. But whenever the next boom happens, every time
because there is going to be a next boom.
Yeah, there is going to be almost certainly going to be next boom. I'm very confident on that.
Because it's extremely volatile.
Yeah, I'm extremely confident there's going to be at least one more crypto boom that's going to happen. And every time you see this big crypto booms happen, you see some new innovation happening. You see like the space as a whole moving a bit forward in some direction. And you see exciting new stuff happening all around you.
You see so many more people getting into it. Every single time.
Yeah, every single time there's a boom, you see more people get into cryptocurrency, which like further legitimizes the currency and the blockchain technology itself. Yeah, definitely.
Because there are millions of people today. we should. I think we should. I think I've suggested it before. But yeah, there are millions of people today who like maybe like not even 10 years, like 1 year ago did not know like what a cryptocurrency was, or what maybe Ether was, or Bitcoin was, but now they do. Yeah, but we didn't know anything about like Dogecoin or we didn't know much about Ethereum either. I think it was mainly just Bitcoin that we'd heard of. Yeah, but it's like in just 1 year, this form of currency has gotten so popular, and that's going to keep happening every time there's either a crash or a boom.
Definitely, yeah. Cool. I think that's all the topics that we had for today. Covered about cryptocurrency. We've been going for a while.
Got all that off our chests.
We've been going it
got really long.
Cool. So we'll be seeing you guys next episode. We got some very interesting topics to talk about.
It's always going to be interesting.
In the meantime, we're going to make a fried circuit cryptocurrency. Let us know in the comments if you would buy fried circuit cryptocurrency tokens.
What you'd want us to call it.
Also, what you want us to call it. Yeah, sure. You know what? If we get 100 likes on this video, we'll make a cryptocurrency, and the top voted comment will be what we'll name it. Yeah, we'll do it.
We'll make it on.
Yeah, we'll actually record ourselves making cryptocurrency. We'll name it what the top comment says, and we will put it out there in the world for people to have.
Yeah, that can be one of our episodes.
High school students for canteen lunch money.
Yeah. That can be one of our episodes, like making it on Zoom.
Yeah, definitely. So 100 likes and the top voted comment becomes the next cryptocurrency. Cool.
Yeah.
See you guys in the next episode.
Okay. See you guys next episode, and keep watching.
Keep watching. Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace.
Bye.